Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to All Things Social Security. I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at Joy Disability. Welcome to the channel, and I hope you enjoy the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey, happy Red Friday. A big thank you to all of our deployed military members who are not as fortunate as most of us are to be home with our families. I want to thank you for all you do, particularly at this more dangerous time abroad and doing all you're doing for the globe in general, but specifically for the United States and our safety here and what the dangers abroad right now are to us in the homeland. So I hugely appreciate all you do, as does everybody, I think, that is watching today. So thank you very much. Our Fridays are also our Fraud Law Review Fridays, where a different protector of sorts reports on other wrongs done to Americans, which is the fraud that we see against a lot of our federal agencies and in specifically Social Security. So these days, I just report on what the Social Security Administration's Office of Inspector General reports as to indictments, findings of guilt, and sentencings on various kinds of fraud that have been going on over the last few years and have finally been caught. So the article today that I'm focusing on is less about one particular bad act, and it's something a little different because they are announcing here, and this just came out in early March of 2026, that a new federal prosecutor, I guess, is now in place that targets Social Security and other government frauds. So this comes out of the Eastern District of Missouri. And that U.S. Attorney's Office states that there's been an addition of a specially funded prosecutor in order to go after these specific kinds of frauds. And it said it's resulted thus far in the indictment of 14 people in the Eastern District of Missouri who were accused of defrauding the government out of $1 million via disability fraud, pandemic fraud, of course, we always hear about pandemic fraud, and the theft of Social Security and other benefits. Some of the people that were charged include a home health aide who was accused of stealing her client's Social Security, retirement, and Veteran Administration benefits for her own use, as well as the owner of a pest control business who has been accused of fraudulently receiving disability benefits, and others who also stole benefits being paid to people who had died. Here we go back to the dead people collecting benefits again. Remember when they told us that there was no such thing? Dead people do not have benefits. Just because they're on the active rolls, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, tell it to someone else. So the U.S. attorney describes the new position for the specially funded prosecutor as allowing them to expand their prosecution of Social Security and other frauds, and it will mean that they can recover hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer money in the short term alone. And that I think is great, particularly if the recovery of hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer money still comes out to be a net positive overall after paying the salaries of the added workforce and any other costs that are involved. So I presume that would be the case, but just checking. And even if it doesn't mean the case, you still have to prosecute these people, even if it costs us taxpayers money, because if we don't do it, we are just inviting it to happen more and more. It's kind of like the broken window theory, right? But for fraud in the white collar arena. They go on to talk about who they work with. They work closely with prosecutors and federal law enforcement partners, with the SSA OIG special agents too. They're just kind of tooting their own horn here, which that's fine. I just don't want to read it to you. It looks like the position, the Special Assistant U.S. Attorney Jolene Toffee's position, is being funded by the Social Security Administration and is one of nearly 24 new positions across the country, bringing the total to 47 in 43 offices. 24. So they've almost doubled, or they've about doubled the amount of special prosecutors they had doing this kind of work, which is probably really important because I think probably the amount of people that get reported on, at least here, I have a feeling it's the tip of the iceberg. I think it's probably 100 times as deep as what actually gets caught and prosecuted. So I'm kind of all in for it because I feel very protective of the Social Security fund. I feel protective of the taxes funds in general because hardworking people and or people who take risk to, better themselves and others in legal ways are the ones that are footing the bill every time someone wants to steal. So I'm just protective of it. I want to see those things not happen. They're expecting to hire more people. In April of 2025, it says President Trump signed a presidential memorandum entitled Preventing Illegal Aliens from Obtaining Social Security Act Benefits. That's good. We reported on a lot of that, right, where that's been happening. That memorandum authorized the expansion of a longstanding partnership with the Justice Department in which attorneys are detailed to U.S. attorney offices throughout the country. And they have like an acronym, SAUSAs, S-A-U-S-A, SAUSA. So SAUSAs typically receive investigative referrals from the SSA Office of Inspector General, special agents, and work with the agents to develop the referrals to prosecutable cases. So the memorandum has expanded the SSA's full-time fraud prosecution program to at least 50 U.S. attorney offices. It also requires SSA to prioritize assigning new details to the 10 U.S. attorney offices whose jurisdictions encompass the largest known populations of illegal aliens as determined by the Secretary of Homeland Security. The memorandum also established a new fraud prosecutor program between the DOJ and the Department of Health and Human Services with regards to programs administered by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. HHS provides direct funding for these positions, enabling dedicated prosecution of beneficiary fraud within CMS programs. Let's see. Then they had the March the 5th National Slam the Scam Day, which I think was the 7th annual this year, because I think preventing the scams became a much more vigorous endeavor under the first administration. And then, so every year it's like a national day where they try to pump out some information of, things to look out for to make sure you're not being scammed. Let's see, anything else here of interest? No, but they give a link. So if you want more information on how to avoid, report, and recover from scams is available. And there's a particular link through the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. All right. So no names mentioned in here, which is fine because they have not been proven guilty. So I think they're innocent until proven guilty. Interesting. I'm happy to see. I know when DOJ was a temporary thing to get the whole ball rolling with, government accountability for fraud and did, a pretty effective job. And then DOJ like stopped officially, I think, but it was said, no, it's not stopped. It's just now assigned to, the places where it actually should be handled. There shouldn't have to be this center thing jump-starting it if everything was running smoothly and there was sufficient tentacles everywhere else. So I think that's probably what's happening. This is probably one of them. So I have to applaud it. Again, I'm very protective of those funds that you all have worked so hard to put into and protect yourselves. So anyway, let's see some more of that. And anyway, that's the fraud law review for today. And next week, we'll probably have one on a particular fraud incident. So hope you come back. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.